Welcome to Chalk Talk. I'm Chris Love.
And I'm Jane Mackey.
Well, the Gill Drysuit Contest wrapped up last week, and what a great response we got this year. Alan Tyrone from UCSD is this year's victor. His video getting 551 likes and comments on Facebook. With those votes, Alan wins himself a pro dry suit from Gill and US Sailing. Here's a clip from Alan's video featuring the UCSD team.
Get a good feeling.
See the full video at facebook.com/ussailing.
Last week we told you about Sperry's offer to outfit the team with the most US Sailing collegiate memberships with Sperry Top-Sider shoes. BC is currently leading the charge. To get your team in to win is easy. You have until the 2012 Spring National Championships. All you have to do is make sure you have your US Sailing collegiate membership by going to ussailing.org/college and then get all your teammates to do the same.
MIT and Harvard combined to host the Boston Dinghy Cup this weekend on the Charles River in Boston, Massachusetts. Despite lightish conditions, they managed to get 18 races in all three fleets. And this includes the Firefly fleet, which we talked about last week. According to regatta reports, sailors seem to really enjoy the loose rig and responsiveness of the boats. And I'm really excited to see if this fleet might just break into some more schools in the US in years to come. Yale picks up the overall win with Graham Landy and Heather May finishing all top fives with the exception of one race to pick up the top spot in B Division. And the best score of the regatta was 77 points. That's an average of only 4.3 points per race. Teammates Cam Coleman and Genoa Warner took second in A Division. Chris Segerbloom and Catherine Gammond are fifth in C. Stanford wins A and C divisions but was deep in B, so they got second overall but no threat to Yale.
Despite 2 days of tough conditions with breeze ranging from 3 to 15 knots and coming from all over the compass, they managed to get 2 round robins off at the Szambecki. Day 1 after 1 round robin had Roger Williams in first with College of Charleston close behind in second. Following behind in a 3-way tie was St. Mary's, Hobart and Georgetown. Sunday saw Charleston emerge as the champions, with Roger Williams losing 5 out of the 7 races and dropping back to 4th overall, and with Hobart advancing to 2nd and St. Mary's to 3rd. An attempt at the final round robin was abandoned as the 3 p.m. time limit came up.
SUNY Maritime hosted the other team race of the weekend, the Admiral Moore. Saturday, things looked great in the morning with breeze up in the 10 to 12 knot range, but things quickly turned ugly, as you can see in the video. 3 to 5 knots, heavy current, and very tough team racing. But despite this, they managed to get off 1.5 rounds on Saturday. Similar conditions on Sunday, they finish up that second round, and here are the results. After 2 rounds, it's a 2-team fight between New York Maritime and Navy, with another close battle for third between Georgetown, Hobart, Roger Williams, and even St. Mary's and Eckerd in there. It was a tightly contested Final 4 round as every team managed to get at least 1 win and at least 1 loss. But the overall scores didn't change after the Final 4, SUNY Maritime taking away the win at home for the first time in the 16-year history of the event. And a big thanks to SUNY Maritime head coach Russ O'Reilly and sailors Dan Hackett and Johnny Burke for their photos and video.
Moving over to the Duplin at Tufts, it's the only women's team race in the college schedule. They completed a 9-team round robin on day 1 with 36 races. BC led at the end of day 1 with a perfect score, with all of the other teams up and down. Going into another light day on Sunday, the bottom 6 raced off to make it into the finals. A final round robin saw BC win their 3rd Duplin in the 4th year it's been a team race. The only other team to have won is Yale back in 2010. And thanks to Ken Legler and the Jumbos for the photos.
And that brings us to the prediction scoreboard. Well, I'm not overly thrilled with my performance this week, but I do pick up 1 point, while you, Jane, are left with a goose egg. That brings the overall score, Jane 2, Chris 1.
Last week we talked with Sailing World's Meredith Powelson about the latest rankings from the coaches poll. Today, SailOneDesign.com releases its team race rankings. This is based off of a 6-coach poll representing some of the best team race teams in the country.
Georgetown holds on to that top spot, but just barely. College of Charleston jumps from 4th to just 0.2 of a point behind the Hoyas. Hobart leaps from 7th in the last rankings all the way up to 3rd after their great showing at the Szambecki team race. To see the full list and read coaches' comments, check out the rankings on SailOneDesign.com.
So the Dallin Bar this weekend at Brown is the main event for the women. It comes after a light weekend last weekend, so it will be great to see the main players on the water. No Georgetown though, so that will break their streak of wins in the last couple of weekends. This was always a memorable regatta for me. It's quite an open venue, but there's still a lot of land effect, so it's always interesting conditions.
Looking forward to a showdown on the Thames this weekend as Connecticut College hosts the Southern New England team race. This is the first year they're not hosting with their neighbors, U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Roger Williams has got to be looking for revenge after their crippling second-round performance last weekend. BC is back from a week away and will be a serious threat after knocking on the door in weeks past. Number 1 ranked Georgetown will not be there, but Hobart is going to try to show that they're an equal threat in Mesa after their second-place finish last weekend at the Szambecki. Stanford's coming back east, Charleston back for more, and Yale needs to have a good showing here if they want to remain in the conversation. St. Mary's, Navy, and SUNY, all strong teams, meaning that no one gets a break and every race matters.
At the second team race of the weekend, at Roger Williams, we have the Ted Ferrarone. We're really going to get to see depth of teams such as Navy, Stanford, and Roger Williams, who are fielding 2 teams in team racing this weekend.
College sailing moves to the city front of San Francisco Bay this weekend for the St. Francis Yacht Club Intersectional. Teams from all over the West Coast, plus Oklahoma, Colorado, and even Coast Guard coming all the way from the East Coast just to be there. This is an amazing bring-your-own-boat event with women's and co-eds teams sharing the same starting line. Big breeze, big fleets make it the West Coast event of the spring. So 4 intersectionals this weekend. Jane, time to make our picks. And you know, Jane and I have not been very prophetic with our predictions so far, so if you guys want to get in on the action, all you got to do is leave a comment here on the YouTube video. If you're not watching this on YouTube, click the small YouTube icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen and leave a comment with your predictions. We'll get the conversation going.
Looking at the Dallin Bar Women's Trophy at Brown University, my pick is Yale. Based off the last couple of weekends, they've been really consistent, so hoping that they can pull it together here with Georgetown out of the picture.
And for that, I'll take Rhode Island. For the Southern New England team race, I'm going with Boston College. I think they're ready to make a return.
My pick is College of Charleston. Again, they've had really good last couple of weekends and hoping that they can pull through again this weekend. Ted Ferrarone team race at Roger Williams. I'm expecting Dartmouth to send their top team here since I don't see them at the Southern New England team race.
Ferrarone's a tricky one, but I think I'll take Brown.
St. Francis Yacht Club Open Intersectional. Expecting this to be a breezy regatta. No, the New Englanders are generally pretty good in those conditions, so I'm going to go with Coast Guard Academy here.
For the St. Francis Intersectional, you just got to look at the results. Despite sending teams east, Stanford seems to win just about everything on the West Coast this season.
Oh, sorry. As if the US Sailing College membership program isn't enough, they're also offering a great bulk pricing deal on these types of publications. US Sailing offers titles from authors like Dave Perry, expert match racer, rules guru, and coach of the US Sailing Team Alpha Graphics. Check it out now for your college team or summer program.
Last week we spoke with CISA class president Colin Weston. And this week on Better Know a District, we're getting to know CISA. So pleased to be joined today by CISA President Sammy Hodges. Sammy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about CISA, the South Atlantic. What exactly does that cover in geography of the U.S.?
That's all the schools inside of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Tennessee, and the northern half of Alabama.
I know you're from Auburn. What are some of the other schools in the district that you see out on the race course?
Well, we're actually in the northern half of the district, so we see a lot of Clemson, Georgia Tech, University of North Carolina, Wilmington, University of Tennessee. And then the southern half, you got Miami and Florida, Jacksonville University, Eckerd College. Quite a few colleges in Florida that people don't get to see a lot.
And tell us about some of these teams. Who are the big sailors in the district that maybe we haven't heard of on a national scene?
In the northern half of the district, that's College of Charleston. Pretty much is kind of the powerhouse in the north. So most people know about them. Normally, right behind them is normally Clemson University. Like this year, the seniors Drew Lasicki and Reed Cavinas are both been doing really well for them. They finished up second in the northern half. And then also Georgia Tech has a couple new freshmen this season, J.D. Redaway and Martin Kendrick. They've been doing really well for them. They finished up third in the northern half. And in the southern half of the district, Miami University has completely dominated the semester, winning every single of their points events for the season. That's Nick Voss and David Hernandez. They were in the Nationals last year, seniors this year, so we expect them to go back and do good things again.
And I know there's a little bit of a story. You have kind of a family history in SASA. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, my brother started out in SASA fall of 2006, and he sailed there 4 years. My sister came in a year behind him, and I came in a year behind her. So we got to sail all against each other for my brother's final season. So that was pretty cool to have all the Hodges family out on the race course. And I actually adopted the president position from my sister 2 years ago, who was the SASA president for her senior year. So that was pretty cool.
Well, thanks again for joining us today, and have a great rest of the season. And now we honor this week's U.S. Sailing College Sailor of the Week. This week, the award goes to Yale freshman Graham Landy and crew Heather May for their performance at the Boston Dinghy Cup. The pair won B Division, finishing with the best scores of the regatta. Congratulations to those two.
One more week to go before conference championships. Join us next week as we begin the road to nationals. Thanks.
See you next week.